I have Keith Nothacker here with me today. He is with BACtrack, and he's got a really fascinating product about testing your blood alcohol content. So Keith, why don't you start off with a little bit about yourself, how long BACtrack's been around, and then about how you got into this business. So I'll hand it over to you.
BACtrack's been around for 13 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Alcohol testing is all we do. We're the experts. I actually started the company my senior year in college.
Oh.
I thought it was crazy that you could get pulled over by police and they could test you, and you'd literally go to jail if you blew above a .08,
wow.
And you did not if you blew less. And so police could test people, but there was no way for consumers to be able to test themselves.
Interesting.
So it was just sort of a crazy concept. So we launched products, and we were actually the first company to ever receive FDA clearance to sell a personal breathalyzer to consumers.
Wow, that's major. Okay. So
as part of that testing, we had to go out. We had to pay people to consume alcohol and then test the safety and the accuracy of the products compared to a law enforcement standard. So we've been doing this for a long time, built up a lot of knowledge in terms of how breathalyzers work and what consumers want from the product.
Okay, so the product you just launched is BACtrack VIO, V-I-O, and this is a new mobile. It's a mobile app as well as blood alcohol test. Okay, I didn't say that very well.
Yes, so the BACtrack VIO, it's actually the second smartphone connected breathalyzer that we've launched. Okay. So we launched BACtrack Mobile in 2013, and with BACtrack VIO, what we did is we shrunk everything down. We wanted to make it a keychain size device, so you could literally take it everywhere. And we brought the cost down even more.
Wow. Okay. So who's using this product? So tell me scenarios.
Yeah, I think the misperception, and this was more in the past, was that it was a younger male demographic only, just seeing if they're drunk. It is not that at all. I mean, that's part of. I'm sure that's some market segment for us, but when you think about the number of people that consume alcohol, or who even knows somebody who consumes alcohol, it's a huge market. Sure. We're talking tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people just in North America who, might be curious about how alcohol affects their body. If you have one beer or one mixed drink, is that .01? Is that .09? People don't know, so we're providing a way for people to be able to get that knowledge.
So are people making decisions, should I drive or shouldn't I drive, or have I consumed more alcohol or less alcohol? What are they driving out of this?
Yeah, so this is understanding about how alcohol and those drinks affect your body. So we're very clear about saying that intoxication begins with the very first drink, and you should always have a designated driver. We're definitely not telling people, hey, see if you're a .07 and then you're safe to drive, and .08, no. We absolutely don't say that. We're saying, hey, let's say you're having a dinner party at your house and you're curious, you want to make sure that you're at a safe low level, .02, .03, and then you can estimate how long it would take you to be a zero, an hour or two later.
Okay, so you're kind of giving people information that maybe they wouldn't understand. It kind of gives them insight as to how the alcohol is affecting them. So if I've had a drink, how long is it going to take to wear off my system? So that's some of the new stats that you're showing.
Yeah, so in our BACtrack app, which again is a free companion app, one of our features is the zero line. So the BACtrack zero line will show you graphically how long it's going to take you to return to zero. It's going to estimate it based on the generally accepted way that people process alcohol. Wow. So it's an eye-opening stat.
Wow.
If you just have one drink and you're a .02, it'll be roughly an hour. But let's say you're a .08. It's roughly 4 to 5 hours later. So it'll say, hey, at 10:35 p.m., not until then are you going to be a zero. So we're providing a lot more information and more power to people who do consume alcohol.
So it's kind of educating them, making them self-aware of how it affects them and whether or not to make a decision about getting behind the wheel, but maybe if they thought it was 2 hours before they were clear to drive, maybe it's 4 or 6 hours.
Yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, this is a very serious issue. Right. Every year, 10,000 people die in an alcohol-related accident.
Wow.
And when you really stop to think about that, that's a huge number. 10,000 people are dying from alcohol-related accidents. Wow. We've observed people time and time again, when they pull out a BACtrack with friends, socially, at a house, with a party, they're talking about safety, whether or not they know it. They're talking about their blood alcohol content. they're becoming educated about how, when they drink, how it affects their bodies. So we think BACtrack is just a great solution to a problem that still really exists in society.
So who do you see using this? Are you seeing students use this? Are you seeing people, adults using this? Who do you see actually?
Yeah, as an example, some of the retail partners where you could buy a BACtrack, we sell to Walgreens, we're in Best Buy, and we're in Costco stores. Okay. So that's a very broad demographic at all those locations. So you have adults of all ages, from 21 to 65 or even older, that have all types of different jobs and industries. We give a couple examples from our history. That is not the Costco example, but we got a phone call from Iraq, from the U.S. military, saying we need to order breathalyzers from BACtrack because people are drinking there on their bases. This is years back. This is 6 or 7 years back. Right. People who are 18, 19, 20 years old are running around with guns, but they're also consuming alcohol. So we need a way of being able to test people and just make sure that people are staying safe. So you have an extreme like that, right. And then you have people that, maybe they drink on the job. Let's say you're in sales and you do a business dinner, right. And you have a vodka tonic. Right. That person, maybe they have a family, they have kids. They really have something to lose if they get pulled over, right. And potentially go to jail. So that's a great example of somebody who would buy our product just to make sure they're staying safe.
Good. So what's your office environment like? So if you have these and you're testing alcohol, are you allowed to drink on the job? Were you at BACtrack?
That's a funny question. So we do have specific periods where we need people to consume alcohol, and we test our products. We just launched BACtrack Vio, so we'll test that. We have that $10,000 police evidential unit at our office, and we'll compare results back and forth. We're a serious group here with an exciting mission. So we're hard workers. The whole team here works hard, and when it's a Friday afternoon and we think it's time to test some of the products, that's part of the job.
So these are available. Okay, so the new one just released, the Vio just released, and it's available. Where can people get a hold of these?
People can get it at Best Buy stores. This is online at BACtrack.com and a number of other retailers.
And what's the price point?
It's just $49.
Okay, so that's a minimal price for something that's so critical and so important.
We think, we're a little biased here. We think it's an amazing price for something that can teach you some critical information that could possibly save your life, and for a smartphone connected device that comes with a free app.
Sure. Okay, so on more of a maybe on a sensitive topic, are there folks that are maybe alcoholics and they're trying to quit? They don't want to be an alcoholic anymore. Have you seen any examples where this might be employed in those scenarios, trying to help people reduce their drinking?
Absolutely. So, and we see it. We get phone calls from customers. We see it in our reviews online. The thanks coming in from people saying, "Hey, my spouse or partner is a recovering alcoholic. We have 3 of your devices in our home just to have accountability." And a lot of times it's the person who is an alcoholic saying thank you to us. They can prove that they're sober. When you are in that situation and you've lost trust with loved ones, sure. Being able to prove that you are zero, not consuming alcohol, that's a very powerful thing. Yeah. So to have a BACtrack product and to be able to test like that for such a low price, it's an important group as well. That's not the business, job testing type thing. This is your life and being able to stay safe with your family.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very significant personal element that this could help with. So that's great. What else? What are any interesting facts that you've discovered about time of day that people are testing these, or what are you finding? Any interesting facts?
Yeah, we are. So we actually put out the BACtrack consumption report. So we actually took 100,000 data points from users. We made them anonymous. We grouped them together, and we put out reports showing when people drink, how much they drink, the drinking patterns during holidays. Wow. Just a lot of interesting data that never existed before BACtrack put this together. So there are some conclusions that probably seem obvious. You know, the most intoxicated people, people who are getting very, very drunk, it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And we actually found that data matches very closely with the NHTSA data, the Department of Transportation data about highway fatalities.
Wow.
So that's an example of, again, that seems sort of obvious, but to have that hard data showing how drunk people are getting that late at night is interesting. It's also interesting to see the people who test themselves in the mornings. You know, let's say you go out on a Thursday night, it's a coworker's birthday, and people are drinking, and you get home late. Chances are you could have alcohol in your system the next day.
Right.
So it's interesting to test yourself in the morning, make sure you're zero. I can tell you that we've had a lot of airline pilots, you know, they're contact us and purchase, and they have very strict testing, and so they'll test themselves if they have any drinks the night before, which I'm assuming most don't, but if they do, just
we hope not.
0.00.
Right.
If they have a 5 a.m. flight the next morning.
Interesting. So anybody who's in some sort of safety transportation, taxi, bus, airline, any of that is just critical. Kind of give you some insight as to where they stand. Very, very interesting. All right. So the new product hit the market on
about a month ago.
Okay.
BACtrack VO. We've been working on it for a long time, and again, the goal was just to make it small enough and affordable enough so that everybody could have one. Okay,
so just to show it here, you know, I have it. It's about 2 inches in size, and it's got the little fold down for the mouthpiece, and then of course the free app. And I'm gonna get you to test this out in your office in a second. I want to test you.
Great.
All right, Keith. So tell me, are people actually drinking in your office?
You know, this is our job. This is what we do. We're experts in alcohol testing. So from time to time, we do have to consume adult beverages. We actually have a $10,000 law enforcement breathalyzer.
Wow.
It's an evidential device that is the gold standard. And so we'll often use that. We'll test our devices. We'll compare the accuracy to that and use that as the gold standard. We're always working on accuracy and performance. So yes, sometimes we have to. I could do a test right now.
I was going to say, can we test you?
Any alcohol in my system?
Yeah, can we test you? I want to see if you're drinking during our interview.
Yeah, why don't we do a quick demo here? So here is the BACtrack VO. We designed it to be very small, very portable. Take it anywhere. You know, it has a key ring on it, so you can keep it on your keys. A little folding mouthpiece, so you can fold it down for easy storage. So real small. We have a free BACtrack companion app. Let me fire that up here.
Yep,
so
I can see it.
It's going to connect via Bluetooth. I'm going to power this on. Press power there. And then it takes a couple seconds, and it connects via Bluetooth that quickly. So real simple, real easy. Why don't we do a test right now? I'm going to hit the button to take a test. Now on this screen, while it's preparing the sensor, we actually have a new feature. It allows people to guess their BAC prior to the test.
Ah, very good.
We saw that really about 80% of people were guessing before they blew into it, either to themselves or if they were with people. You're just curious about what your BAC is. Sure. That's why we added that feature.
So do people guess high or low?
Get ready?
Go ahead. Keep going. Keep blowing. Turning red. Oh.
And there we go. So I'm clearly a 0 now.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So you didn't sip this morning. So do people guess high or low? Just curious. Like, what have you found? Do people?
You know, it's interesting. People guess all over the map. You know, you get those charts from the DMV, and it says if you've had one drink, you know, you're approximately here. Yeah. And people don't know this. Those are totally off. If you have a meal in your stomach, your BAC is probably going to be lower than that sort of official estimate. If you have not had any food, let's say you skip lunch, you go to a happy hour with coworkers, and you have a mixed drink, your BAC is going to shoot up very quickly because your body is absorbing the alcohol very quickly because there's no food or anything in the stomach. Okay. So to answer your question, I would say a lot of times people guess high, a lot of times people guess low, and it's all over the map. So
they really don't know. Right.
You just don't know. Unless you have a BACtrack, you don't know.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, Keith?
You know, we are appreciative that people are taking an interest in alcohol testing. It's surprising to me that this is sort of a new category. We've been working on it for 13 years, but it's just something that is so necessary and so easy, such a great gift for a loved one. So we're excited at all the growth of this market.
Yeah, I think it sounds great. I think it's a great product, and I think there's a lot of good uses for it. So thank you very much for your time. Great meeting you.